Hey guys, this is Lou with another raid video. Today I'm on holiday, so I will be on holiday when this comes out. So recording this one for you guys while I'm away. It's a topic that came up about a month ago when Siege was announced, and a lot of people made videos about it at the time. And I wanted to repeat an experiment that I really enjoyed that YST did about a year ago, where he did a live stream of doing the daily grind in raid and timed how long that took. So I did that. It took me a little while. I didn't live stream it, but it took me a little while to actually get the time to sit down and record for that long, sort of straight. So we're gonna go through that. And we're going to watch it in 4 times, and we're going to talk about raid and how long it takes to play today. So let's go and take a look. I used a bit of software to do the virtual green screen, just because that's a bathroom behind me and I can't put a green screen there without people looking at me weirdly. Why there's a green screen in the middle of a room? But I noticed an audio delay, so I turned that software off just to see if that made a difference, and I put the pretty lights in to try and compensate. So anyway, let me know how you like it. Yeah, we're gonna go no transparent background today. I might move my office into a different room just so that I can do that. Okay, let's go, because spoiler alert, this might take a while. Oh, I didn't realise that camera is flip reversed. There we go. And then I can move me there a bit. There we go. Hopefully I'm not blocking too much. Okay, let's also crop. You don't need to see right above my head, right? There we go. Okay, so... Oh, why has that gone massive? Let's bring this down a bit. Here we go. I recorded this all in one sitting. Actually, I did it in 2 sittings. The very end is live arena, and I had to record that separately on my phone because it just wasn't live when I actually got time to sit down and do the recording. So we're going to watch it in 4 times speed, and here we go. And this is me, and normally, no one does this, or I don't know, maybe you do, I don't. I don't sit and, run it all in one big go. Just never. It's I just set things running in the background on my phone, which is a video. I will at some point, I'll do a short or something on my phone. My phone is an Asus ROG phone. It's a gaming phone. These things are great. Most importantly, they have a piece of software called Game Genie, which is exclusive to Asus and their gaming phones, their ROG phones. It lets you run any application in the background, and so it means that you do one gesture, turn the thing on, and that's it. It runs in the background the whole time, so you can be farming Sand Devil overnight on your phone because it's just running in the background the whole time. Really, I don't. And before that, I had a Samsung which had which it has a touch lock. So again, you do sort of 2 gestures and it turns on the touch lock. So you can have something running on your phone. I have no idea why I'm using such a weird team to do these arena matches. But this is just me. It's when I was experimenting with Goffred, I think. This is just me running through. This is my. My 3v3s. I'm sure that most people are quite similar, they'll do their 3v3s and then they'll do their classic arenas, etc, etc. Do the 3v3s first because they, then you can get your extra keys for, there we go, that can actually go a bit bigger. There you go. Then you can get your extra keys and then you just do your couple of runs on, oh, there we go. I didn't realise I didn't have that quite maxed, sorry. And then you can do your extra Faction Wars keys. So, let's have a look. So yeah, it was about a month ago. It was when Siege came out and everybody thought it was going to be a really huge time sink. And that's when everybody was sort of making the video saying, everybody wants new content. the problem is that you can't make new content without speeding up the old content, because otherwise people just don't have that much free time to play. And I know JGigs highlighted it first. I know he made a good video on it, and then Hell Hades did like an estimate video of like, well, here's how long I think it should take every day if you're early game or late game. So again, I thought, I'm going to do that YST type live stream and then just go, okay, look, how long does it take, like in a day? And I went just to do my standard stuff, my daily quests, my advanced quests, faction wars, do my 10 floors of climbing Doom Tower, do Doom Tower boss farming, which, you may or may not do. I don't farm anything outside of Fae, because time. So yeah, usually I don't do that, but I did for the purposes of the video, because I think it's something that most people do. Then we did the Curse City keys for the day, we did Iron Twins with no refill, and then we did Live Arena with no refill. And it's crazy, like, how many things there are that you've just got to do on a day-to-day basis. Even like this recording isn't going quite as fast as I wanted it to. Just looking at how long we're going to be looking at it. So I guess, and this doesn't, there's so much. So I guess the first thing is, there are so many resources that you have to monitor. I wish I had the game open. I don't. I probably have it open on my phone. When you go to that resources tab now, and they sort of put it into a big thing. There's just so many things. Like, as a new player coming in, that you've got to, okay, I've got my Classic Arena tokens, I've got my Tag Team Arena tokens, I've got my Live Arena tokens, then I've got Fortress keys, Crypt keys, Demon Lord keys, Hydra keys, Gold keys, Silver keys, Curse City keys, and then Siege Scrolls. That's what's currently in my list. And that's like just so much for a new person coming in. It's fine for us who have sort of been around and see these things come out one at a time, but yeah, just crazy. Again, just running in the background, that's the faction wars. So again, I run 21s just for the better forge mats. They're about the same speed. They're like, I can't even remember. It depends on which one, but between a minute and 2 minutes usually. So again, not very arduous. And again, we're just running. Sometimes I'll run dragon. Sometimes I'll just run spider for my win 3 things, or So let's just So yeah, and then I did, like I said, did the Live Arena on my mobile just because it didn't work from a sort of time perspective. But yeah, just loads of resources to kind of track now, especially when you look at like, and then you've got, then you've got Soulstone Essence, and Soul Coins, and it just feels like it's like a drip feed of like tiny little bits of currency, and it's like, you could just give people a stone. Just give them a stone. Like, it's like, rather than giving us coins to exchange in for stones and to exchange for essence. Yeah. Anyway, it just feels like there's always a new currency like that gives you a smaller thing. Anyway, so yeah, another thing that I sort of wanted to point out was like, there is a massive like account level discrepancy, because this is me running everything. I've completed everything. I've almost finished the Marius missions. In fact, the video I'm going to record after this is doing some Live Arena for Marius. I've got speed teams for everything. Like, I'm running a Seer fast team and to clear these Doom Tower waves that you can see in the background. Like, everything, my teams are built. I've got an instant 1 key clan boss team. Arena is fast. I'm not looking at my opponents. It's just go, 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 go. Because it doesn't matter, because like the gear levels, just like, I just run my normal team against an Arbiter team, an Armons, because it doesn't matter. I'll just wipe the floor with them. There's no, and that's where, this stuff is faster. Whereas on my like free to play account, like, it's like, can I get through this floor? Do I need to like manual the end of round 2 so that I've got all my skills available for round 3? It makes a massive difference. Do I have a team that can beat this Doom Tower boss, or do I then need to build a team? And that's what's not included in any of like the footage that you guys are watching. Is there's none of the. Are you manualing your clan boss team? Are you building your clan boss team? Do you have it? Do you have a team but it can't quite one key, and therefore you're having to run 2 keys manual? Well, that's 40 minutes added on. Yeah, if it's a 20-minute fight, that's 40 minutes that you've just added on to your daily stuff that you got to do. You might run that in the background, you might not, but it all adds up. It's a really lot. And the other thing is arena farming. I think I just picked, sorry, just in case anyone picked up on, I don't think there were any rewards there. I just picked a random, like, middle of Doom Tower. I'd already completed Doom Tower when I recorded this a couple of weeks ago, so I just picked a random floor in the middle of Doom Tower. And then it's one of those, like, this team failed a couple of times when I was farming it, and I was like, oh, why is this failing? Go and take a quick look at the builds. This is all just a normal day. Normally, honestly, I wouldn't have even noticed if it failed, probably. I'd probably just run it and just, if it had missed a couple of times, who cares? That's interesting. Looks like we got a connection error there. Oh, there it is. So, some things that I just didn't include here is arena. Like, this isn't including farming arena. If you're building up your Great Hall still, which loads of people will be, then that's not included here. The time that you need to go back in and do those fights and keep your medals churning to keep your Great Hall medals coming through. That's not included here. Not included is things like, are there teams I can win against? Or, versus just going in and auto-farming stuff. Obviously, I haven't included, like, plat pushing, because that's just a whole separate thing. And to be frank, it's about half an hour a week, so who cares? Building teams is also just, not factored into any of this. This is just the daily grind, if you will. And frankly, again, if you're end game, you're doing way less team building. But if you're earlier game, you're having to build a team for everything that you come across, a lot of the time. Until you get those locked in. There's no food farming included in this. There's no ranking up chickens to make more level 60s. That's not included in the time here. And frankly, if you're earlier mid-game, even late game, you're probably going to spend a chunk of time doing that. Not included is building champs. There's no mastery farming here. There's no leveling people up, no ranking people up. None of that is included here. That is all just... outside. This is just the daily stuff, and the reality is probably your daily stuff when you're earlier is farming food. All of that is massive time sinks that just aren't factored in this limited experiment. What else? Oh, the other thing that I haven't included two things that I also haven't included is using up your energy for the day in whatever you're going to do that for. And you might not use it. You might stockpile your energy and wait for a personal reward CVC. Or you might use it every single day. If you use it every single day, I know Hell Hades on his video sort of went, okay, well, you probably get about 1,000 energy a day. That's probably going to take you, but depending on how fast your farm teams are and what you're spending that energy on, that's probably going to take you 20 minutes to an hour. It just depends on what you're running and how long that takes. The other thing that is not on here is Hydra. And that, again, totally depends on where you're at. You've got 3 keys a week. I figure, if I look at mine, I think 2 of my keys take about an hour on full auto. So it's probably, maybe 2 keys take, let's call it, an hour and a half. And then the 3rd key, let's say, is a quicker key and it takes half an hour. That's 2 hours. 2 hours a week. that you're doing. So, call it half an hour, 20 minutes a day added on for Hydra. So if you look at the things that I can't type. Hydra, I would say, plus 20. The using your energy, so let's just call it farming. Let's go for somewhere between 20 minutes and an hour, so let's call it 45 minutes. Yeah, whether you're doing that, whether you're deciding to spend that energy on masteries or building up, or making some food or farming some gear from from a dungeon, whatever that might be. So we're still not quite there. So what I might do is skip forward a little bit, just because of how this is going. So let's just skip forward a little. We'll just skip around in here. I can't remember what we do after this. So this is where we're Doomtower boss farming. Again, I don't usually do this every day. We're an hour in. Again, a bit more Doomtower boss farming. And, this must be the secret room. This looks like, our other faction war that we didn't do. Then we're running our Iron Twins. Full disclosure, when we switch to the phone footage in a minute, my timer, which was supposed to carry on, didn't. So I've had to add 2 timers together. So apologies for that. You will see it in a minute. So Iron Twins, I think, might be the last thing that we do here. Yeah, we're just grabbing the forging stuff. There we go. Is that the last thing? Yes. So now, so I'm in the way here. So just so that you guys can see, I took the timestamp from where we finished, and then started a new timer from the sort of live arena footage. So again, I only did 6 keys on Iron Twins. I only did 5 fights in live arena. I think that's probably what a lot of people do. I think a lot of people will do their full 10 fights on live arena. I didn't on this day. But yeah, we can double the number after if we think that people will. There was something else that I was going to mention, and now I've totally forgotten it. I can't remember if we win or lose these fights, so apologies. I'll move me back over here. Just know that this is 119, and we're going to add them together right at the end. And I think actually, I'll just have a drink. I think actually I got some really quick fights this day. I was really surprised. They were just, normally they can be a real slog, and sometimes they can just go really quickly. So. Yeah, I mean, I feel like half the things that we've done here, like, just the daily Iron Twins, Doomtower, it's like a lot of this stuff isn't enjoyable. Like, it's not the fun bit is like the getting new champs, the building new champs, and actually in the day-to-day so far, which we're at, what is it? An hour and 9, yeah, so an hour and 25 minutes. We haven't done sort of the fun, engaging bit yet. I think this is, like live arena is something that you're sort of actively doing. The other thing that we haven't done at all here is events. There's no fusions. Like, I did think about including that because there's usually something going on. Fusions, hero paths, Titan events, there's usually something going on. CVC, Siege. Now, Siege has ended up being not a massive time sink if you're not an officer. If you're an officer, we all spent ages going out, talking to members, getting an idea of people's rosters, getting an idea of the strength on their accounts, of the gear on their accounts, so that we could go, right, where are our strongest, arena defenses, so that we can plan out who we're going to assign where, what routes we want to take through the siege to get to the stronghold. All that stuff the officers did, and I feel like normal people are like, well, siege didn't take any time at all, because to them it didn't. To them it was, a couple of fights and then farming the Mana Shrine, whereas to the officers in the clan, they're spending a load of time doing a load of planning in the background that doesn't necessarily always get seen. So, it depends if you're an officer or not. Like, some of us have spent a whole load of time doing spreadsheets to look at that, to plan all that out. So yeah, like, it didn't include the fusions and stuff because I wanted to just give an idea of like the baseline. Like, what does the baseline take before you even start building champs? Like, doing fusions, and I think we're getting close to the last fight now. I think this might be our last fight. Let's have a look. I'll just skip forward a bit. I can't remember how this one goes. I think this is a pretty quick one. There we go. So that's it. So this is where we ended up. So we ended up with it was 16 minutes to do our live arena. I feel like live arena always takes me way longer than that. I feel like 5 arena fights usually takes me way longer than 16 minutes. I feel like it's usually more like 20 minutes, half an hour. So, like, we did good there. But again, the list of things that I didn't include here is doing your extra live arena fights. So that's probably at least another 15 minutes. Doing your Hydra. In fact, we haven't added Hydra onto this. So 136, we said Hydra, we were going to estimate 20 minutes a day. Depends if you're manualing or not. Depends where you're at in the game or not. Like, you might be... I'll come a bit bigger because we don't need to see anything in the background now, but I'll lose my number if I switch screens. Depends if you're manualing. If you're manualing, then that's an hour per key. So yeah, I would say let's do our 135 plus 20, so 155. We didn't include any farming in this, so I would say you could easily call this 2 hours a day. Yeah, 2 hours a day. We still haven't built any teams. We still haven't farmed arena. We still, that's presuming you've got speed teams farming everything. We still haven't used our energy up. If we want to use our energy up, it's probably closer to 2.5, 3 hours a day. And again, that is all if you've got all this stuff already set up and you're only doing what you need to do in a day, which I think, as somebody with a full-time job and a hobby, YouTubing, and a family, like, that can be difficult to fit in. Like, yeah, I would say 2 hours is about what raid takes. So let's adjust that and we'll call it, well, in fact, let's call it what it ended up being. So it was 136 plus 20 for Hydra plus 45. I'm going to call it more like 2 hours and 40-ish. Again, not an exact science, because your Hydra might take more, it might take less. Your teams might be faster than mine, they might not be. You might do 10 live arena fights every day instead of 5. All of that adds on. If you haven't got teams set up to farm this stuff, that adds on. So, yeah, again, I'm all for new stuff. I don't think anybody would say I don't want new stuff, but I definitely feel like they need to save some time in some places. Yeah, I think the Doomtower boss farming is a really obvious, make it instant, beat it one time that day and then make the rest of your keys instant. Faction Wars isn't too bad. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of places that you could save time, like Iron Twins. Just make it instant once you've run it once. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed sort of doing the experiment. It took quite a while, but yeah, I mean, I would say at least 2.5 hours a day is probably what raid takes to play. And again, that's if you're super end game and you've already got everything set up, everything on farm mode, Like I don't do any of those like Syntranos stages where it's like, and now I've got to manual this and rerun it and hope that the stun sets proc. I haven't got time for that. I don't, like I know people do, and fair cop to them, but no, I'm not. When it gets to like, I've just got to rerun this until the RNG lines up, I'm not interested. Like, I've skipped every single Doom Tower stage that's like and do this with all rares. Like, no thanks. Like, I've got those rares built in stun sets. I'm just not willing to rerun it 20 times to get the right RNG. So yeah, I feel the same. I feel the same as Syntranos. Okay, guys, that's it from me. I'll catch you in the next one.